I never thought I'd be making a video like this, but it's time to make a change. On July 2nd, 2020, Byron Bernstein took his own life. Better known as Reckful, Byron was a pioneer to streaming on Twitch. He was one of the best players to ever play World of Warcraft. He was an entertainer, but most of all, he was authentic. I never watched Byron play World of Warcraft. I was never into it, only playing a handful of hours leveling a character in vanilla zones 5 years after they stopped being relevant. But to me, he was so much more than just a Twitch streamer, a World of Warcraft champion. He was a champion of coming forward about your struggles, your battle with mental health. A few years ago, I was at the lowest point of my entire life. After I was let go from an old job, I was more than happy to leave. I wanted to make YouTube and streaming work so fucking bad. But the imposter syndrome, the toxicity growing inside, took hold of me and wouldn't let go. The seed in the depths of my core, parasitic in nature, blossomed and ate at me. I hated myself. I forfeited goals to graduate college and live a normal life because I thought I wasn't good enough. For weeks on end, I would go to bed at night, after a long day of sitting on my computer, not working, but absorbing myself in other people's success as a distraction. And I would stare at the ceiling, tears streaming down my face, crying until there were no tears left, contemplating whether or not the world would be better off without me. I was just a leech after all. I had nothing to contribute. I constantly minimized my struggles. What made my struggle comparable to what anyone else was going through? I made these mistakes that led me down this path. There's so many people going through so much more than me. I think I should just go away. I felt this way until I couldn't take it anymore. For so long, I couldn't talk to my family about this. They wouldn't understand. I sat at the dinner table every night with them asking me, what's wrong? They begged me to talk to them, but my mouth was stitched shut. I wouldn't. I laid in my bed at 2 a.m, staring at the ceiling again and crying, but something in me stirred, and I picked up the phone and texted my mom in the other room because I couldn't even bring myself to face her. I need help. My heart hurt, but finally just talking about it was like lifting part of the burden off my shoulders. The recovery process was slow and hard. I remember going downtown just to get outside of my room to get some fresh air. I went to go buy a book, and I remember the anxiety swelling within me with each step, just for trying to reacclimate myself to going outside again. Later, I finally got a new job. I felt like I didn't belong there, but for some reason, I stuck to it. The first year wasn't so great. I just did my job and went home, but over time, I began to open up again, and I started to let my guard down. I started to make new friends. Real, face-to-face interaction. These friends, people who helped me learn to love myself again. I was healing. Still am. There's a lot going on in the world right now. It was hard to grasp at first, but watching the gaming industry set on fire and seeing Byron leave this world has stirred something within me again. For a lot of us in the gaming community, the Twitch community, not only did Byron pioneer streaming, but he pioneered coming forward about being open about his battle with his own mind. By so many accounts, he treated people as they were, human. He didn't look at people like tools. He gave everyone a fair shake regardless of who they were. He helped give mental health awareness a platform on Twitch by candidly talking not only to Dr. K of Healthy Gamer, but by candidly talking to his stream, giving them someone to relate to, giving people insight into the mind of someone struggling with deep depression and bipolar. Nothing was off the table, for better or for worse, but he believed in something. He poured his heart into the making of Everland to make a difference in people's lives, and he used his voice to amplify the voice of something that could help. Healthy Gamer is a resource created by Dr. Alok Kanojia to help gamers in need deal with depression, anxiety, social rehabilitation, and video game addiction through talks, resources, and coaching. It was through his talks with Dr. K did I begin to experience what Byron called AoE healing. If you don't understand, it comes from MMORPGs, standing for Area of Effect Healing, where multiple players can stand together and heal amongst one another. I've come so far since I hit rock bottom, but my struggle isn't over. and I, along with countless others, found solace in these talks, watching Byron improve from week to week as we all huddled together and began our healing. Unfortunately, Byron lost his battle. I want to thank Jenna for organizing a way for the community to support Byron's family in this time of grieving, Becca and Blue for giving more context into Byron's struggle with the mental health care system, and his roommate Mike for doing his best to take care of Byron leading up to this tragedy. Everyone's statements have added a lot more context to the situation, at the very least putting my mind a little more at ease. I'm not going to speculate on what went through Byron's mind that day, but I will say that he wasn't afraid to admit that the words you say, the words you type on your keyboard or say in voice chat, while you fail to understand what the person receiving them might be feeling or going through, have an effect. You could have the thickest skin in the world, but over time, enough hate has an effect on people. As someone with a voice, you have power. It's time to clean up our act. It's long since been time to take a stand. This is a subreddit called Livestream Fail. In their own words, it's a place for almost anything livestream related, a place to post funny clips, fails or wins, even current events happening in the sphere. Over the years, however, it's become something a bit more sinister. With its explosion in popularity, it's a place where anyone can post a 60-second clip out of context. A place where you can hate on a streamer you don't like without having to actually watch their stream. And it's a rallying point for causes, bad and good. Admittedly, without LSF, many people may not have been exposed to something like Healthy Gamer, thus never beginning their healing process. But the hive mind mentality that is core to Reddit's design has a way of amplifying the hate and toxicity so pervasive in the gaming and live streaming community, even to the point of targeted harassment. And it's been a problem for a long time. There are promises to take steps forward being made, an update to the rules, an increase in moderation, even streamers considering opting out of being featured on LSF to curb the toxicity. Don't forget these promises. But more importantly, it's time to take a look in the mirror, because the reform starts with us. Take a look back at the words you've sent and make a decision about the person you want to be moving forward. Assess your contribution to the toxicity. I've done and said plenty of things I'm not proud of, but enough is enough. Today, I'm making a pledge to make a difference, a realistic difference, in this community I care so deeply about. Not only will I watch what I say and take into consideration the struggles the person next to me could be dealing with, but I promise to hold others accountable, and I invite you to do the same to me. Fuck being a simp, a white knight. By holding each other accountable in and out of game, we're just being human. And it's been way past time to make this community the safe place we need it to be. Please, find it in your heart to believe the stories of people who have experienced harassment here. I'm not saying jump to conclusions and immediately condemn the accused or even the accuser with targeted harassment, but just listen. If I can make a change in one person's mind, it will have been worth it. For reasons I don't fully understand, this shit is hitting me hard. Byron was merely a public figure in my life. I didn't know him, but I can't help but feel like he's made an impact on me. I didn't want to make this about me, but I think sharing just a bit of my story helps, the same way Byron helped me. Where one door closes, another one opens, and I'm standing by those opening the door to reforming this community, alongside those elevating the discussion around mental health. I wish he was still here. Byron, if this gets to you, I love you. We love you. What you did for me won't be forgotten. What you did for countless others won't be forgotten. I want to echo Dr. K and say, we have to love each other. We have to take care of each other and ourselves. Don't minimize your struggles anymore. Normalize feeling things. Normalize expressing your feelings. Normalize AoE healing. If not for yourself, do it for him. Heal and be better. Remember Reckful.
Wow, and like watching his videos, and I was like, damn, that guy's awesome. Like, I wish I could be like that good. Wow. I was a fan. He was a friend of mine. And what do we do when a champion falls? Do we stop fighting? It's a personal battle and all of us have to fight it, but you have to fight it, but you don't have to fight it alone. You absolutely don't have to fight it alone.
I can't just sit in my house and feel bad about myself and about everything that's going on. And neither can you. You like, we have to do something. And it's like, well, what can you do? Well, every single individual person that has that has something to say can choose to be positive or negative every moment that they have. And you underestimate, like I'm telling you, you truly underestimate what the ripple effect of that positivity can do. If you can just add a little bit to the world.
They start calling you a simp. Fine, you let them. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to do any of that shit. You don't have to show him you're right. That's all you say, like, hey man, can you lay off? And then if he keeps going, you can apologize to the woman. You can say, hey, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. Sounds like it sucks. I can only imagine. If there's something I can do, let me know. That's all you gotta say. 30 seconds of speech, and then he can get mad at you. Why does he get mad at you? Because you're fucking right. Does that solve the problem? No. In the next game, there needs to be someone else like you. And in the next game, there needs to be someone else like you. And I guarantee you that if that person plays 10 games in a row where there's a single person that's like, hey man, why don't you lay off? They're going to shut the fuck up on game 11. They're not even going to do it. You're not going to convince them of anything. That's how we solve toxicity.